Okay, in my previous video, we talked about how to install Splunk Db Connect, right? And how to set it up. Now, let us discuss about how to create identity and how to create database connection, okay, in this particular video. So for that, we are basically targeting these two boxes over here, okay? Now, for that, we'll go to our Splunk installation, the Splunk Db Connect app, okay. Now after that we'll go to our configuration tab. Okay, now if you see here, previously we worked with the settings tab. Now we will be working with the database tab. Okay, the first thing we'll be doing is the identities. So identities are basically the database users, right? The username and their password. Okay, so that will be stored over here. So to create a new identity, we'll be clicking on this new identity button. It will take me to this new identity settings page. Identity name I'll be giving, let's say, my SQL identity. Okay, the username for my SQL database is root. Okay, I do not have any password, so I'll be keeping it blank, or else if you have password, you need to give that one. Okay, now there are other options as well for Windows authentication domain. So as I am directly logging in, so I am just not checking these boxes. Okay, so if you have Windows authentication specifically for SQL Server, you can use that one as well over here. Okay, so this is very small settings, and let us go to permissions tab. Here if you see this particular settings where it will be saved, you can mention that one. So the application you can choose. I'll show you the file it will create, okay, after you save this particular identity. Okay, now the sharing, it will be either app level or global level, and if you see it over here, who can access this particular thing, either read and write. Okay, if you see it over here, by default the admin DB Connect admin role has both read write privilege on this particular identity creation. That means they can create an identity, edit an identity as well. Okay, as I logged in as an administrator, and by default the admin role gets the DB Connect admin role. Okay, so that's why I'm able to do it. Okay, but if you have any user who is logging in with this system with DB Connect user role, okay, so in that case he or she will be only able to read that identity. He or she will not be able to create the identity or edit the identity at all. Okay, now let's go back to settings. Okay, we have it over here. Let's click on save. Okay, so it created a new identity. Over here it will show you the identity name, the username, the app, the information will be saved, the status, whether it is enabled or disabled or not, the sharing level, whether it's app level or global level, and a lot of actions like you can edit it, clone it, delete it as well. So if you just click on edit, it will take you back to the same page where you can edit that information. Okay, so I'll be clicking on cancel. Now whenever we create an identity, right? So let us see where it is getting saved. So for that I'll go to our Splunk Db Connect app. Okay, I'll go to default local folder. I'll click on continue. Okay, if you see there is a file called identities.conf. If I just open it, so with that identity name, it will be creating this level of information here. If you see, the password is encrypted as well. Okay, so after we click on identity, we have to now click on a database, create a database connection basically. So for that I'll be going to this connection tab. Okay, same way I'll be going to this new connection. I'll be giving a connection name, let's say MySQL con. Here I have to choose the identity. Okay, that's why we created the identity first. I'll be choosing the identity just now we have created. Okay, the connection type, as it is a MySQL database, so I'll be choosing the MySQL one. So if you are using any other kind of database, you have to choose accordingly. Okay, so now the time zone here, this is the one important factor over here. So your database could be in any time zone, right? But whatever data you are fetching into Splunk, okay, if you want to have the data to be in a specific time zone, that means your server time zone or any time zone you want, you have to select the time zone over here. Okay, so as I am based in Bangalore, it is GMT plus 5:30, so I'll be choosing this guy over here. Right? So Asia Calcutta, I'll be choosing that. Okay, now the JDBC URL settings, the host, as it is a standalone installation and I am working with my local host, so that's why I'll be giving local host here. If you are installing in a server, you have to give corresponding host name. The port, if I just show you the XAMPP control panel, currently the MySQL database is running, the service is running on the port on 3306, right? So that's why I'll be giving that port number over here. Now default database, so as we have created our Splunk DB Connect demo database, we'll be giving that. Okay, now if you need to enable SSL, you have to tick this checkbox. Now if you can do an read-only connection itself, so that nobody will be able to push any data to the database itself. Now you have to remember one thing over here. So this read-only is the flag only sent from Splunk to the database driver. So the actual functionality of read-only is happening at the database driver level. So if anything is failing over there, so it may happen that you can, even though you are checking this checkbox, you will be able to write something to the database. Okay, we have to remember this one. Now fetch size, that means how many number of rows will be fetching from the database to Splunk at a time. So by the default value is 100. If you want to increase it, you have to give a value over here. So I'll just keep it as a default value 100 itself. Okay, now if you see, if you give this information, it creates a JDBC URL over here, right, with this information. Now if you want to edit the JDBC URL to give some more information, you can do that, but you need to be very much sure about that what you are doing it over here. Okay, so similarly in the permission tab itself, whatever we have discussed about identity, the same thing holds true for connection as well. Okay, so we will not be discussing again that. Now I'll be clicking on save. So I'll just verify again for my settings tab. Okay, this is our MySQL database. Yeah, so I'll be clicking on save. After validating, it should be creating a connection object for me, right? So similar kind of information is showing up over here. The connection name, the identity name we used, the connection type, that means which kind of database it is, where the connection, this particular settings will be saved in which app, whether it is enabled or not currently, the permission level details, and the actions like edit, clone, and delete, right? So if I just go to backend, so there is a db_connections.conf file. Here all the connection level details will be saved over here. Okay, so we created two very important objects in DB Connect which will be required every time, is the identities and the connection. Okay, now in the next video we'll be working on how to create that input so that we will be fetching data from our database into Splunk. Okay, see you in next video.